Hello, everyone. I believe I'm live. So we'll see what strange things StreamYard decides to do to me tonight. Will it let me see the chat? Excuse me. Will it let me see the chat? I don't know. So I've got YouTube chat up just in case. Just in case. So I've just decided to hop on and do a quick live stream regarding the missing and endangered woman, Cassie Carli, out of Navarre, Florida. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Betsy, Daisy, Abigail Rose. Hello, Kat. Hello, Lena. Oh, everyone's jumping in now. Hello, Simple Life Days. I should have brought my glasses. This is what always happens. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me tonight. As I said just a minute ago, I decided to hop on tonight just to do a quick live about the missing and endangered woman, Cassie Carli. Catherine Carli. She's missing out of Navarre, Florida. And I'm really pleased that WFLA did some excellent coverage on her case tonight. I became aware of it a couple of days ago now. It was the day, I think it was the day. We'll go through the timeline anyway. But a couple of days ago, I found this case on Twitter. So I thought, that's very concerning things that have gone on over the last 5 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through who Cassie is, the circumstances of her disappearance, the timeline as we know it, just the basic timeline as we know it. And I'm going to play you the press conference that was held yesterday. Now, I hadn't seen this until WFLA played it earlier on today. So some of you probably will have seen the WFLA coverage on this. If you have, then you'll know as much as I do. But if you haven't, if this is a completely new case to you, we are going to go through it from the beginning. So let's just share the old screen to get up a poster. I don't think this is the official poster, but this gives us some good. Shall I share my entire screen? Yeah. This gives us just some good basic information. So, your browser can't accept your screen. Try capturing a different screen to see if this continues. I said, StreamYard does strange things to me. Every time I try to do something, it doesn't like me to do it. So we'll try a different way of doing this. Is it going to let me share? Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Brilliant. Just a sec. Entire screen. Go. No, it won't let me share my screen. Did this to me last time. Will it let me? What will it let me do? Oh, bizarre. It doesn't matter. I'll read it to you. You won't be able to see it, but I'll read it to you. Okay, so Cassie, she's 37. She weighs approximately 150 pounds. She's got blonde hair, and she was last seen on Navarre Beach, Florida, on Sunday, March the 27th. So she was scheduled to meet her estranged partner and the father of her child, who is called Marcus. And we're going to talk about him once we've seen the press conference, because there is some concerns. The family, Cassie's family, have got a big concern about Marcus. He's allegedly, and this is all alleged from Cassie's family, he's controlling, he's narcissistic, and there's a custody battle currently going on between Cassie and Marcus for the little girl who is 4-year-old Sailor. So she was due to meet Marcus because at the moment they've got joint custody of little Sailor. She was going to meet him at Navarre Beach on Sunday, 7 p.m. And it was near a grill. It was in a public place to exchange the child. So Marcus had Sailor for a few days, and he was returning her back to Cassie. But Cassie never returned home. So Cassie lived with her dad. She was kind of in between jobs. She'd just started a new job. She'd moved in with her dad to save money. And about 3 hours after Cassie was due to pick up Sailor, so around 10 p.m.-ish, Cassie's dad received a text message from Cassie's phone saying she was having car problems and phone problems. Very bizarre. The family don't believe that these texts came from Cassie. They believe that Marcus has her phone, and as of the WFLA coverage, the phone has not been found. As far as JB from WFLA knew, the phone has not been found. So that's a red flag. That is a red flag. Because to be honest, from the press conference, the law enforcement didn't want to say very much, but this is a new and developing investigation, moving very quickly at the moment. So they are very limited in what they are willing to say, but they said they found her purse in her car. They located her vehicle, but they didn't say anything about the phone. So that's a big problem to me. And no one has heard from her since. Right? So her vehicle was found on March the 29th, so Tuesday morning. That was found at a boat ramp on Navarre Beach. So this is a Toyota Venza with a surfboard roof rack and sticker on the back. So they've located a vehicle, and at the time that this was kind of all developing, like Monday into Tuesday, it was Cassie and little Sailor that were missing. They were both missing. But this is the really concerning thing, that little Sailor, 4-year-old Sailor, has now been located. She was located on Wednesday in Birmingham, Alabama, with her dad, Marcus. So even though Cassie was meant to have taken Sailor from Marcus, Sailor was still with Marcus. Now, law enforcement have questioned Marcus, as we'll hear in the press conference. But as far as we know, little Sailor has not yet been interviewed. She's not been interviewed as of yesterday by law enforcement. However, Alabama Child Services have been in touch with Marcus. Sailor is safe. It's unclear where Sailor actually is. I mean, obviously the Alabama CPS will know, but we don't know. All we know is that she's safe. So the searches have been ongoing. There's a big team of family, volunteers, the search and rescue people have all been out in that area. So they've had you know, a search of the water. This was Navarre Beach. I'll get the map up. Once we've listened to the press conference, I'll get the map up and I'll kind of give you a good kind of feel for the location. It's in the panhandle of Florida, so very coastal. So one of the big aims of the search effort is to check the water, because if her vehicle was found near a boat ramp, then you have to ask the question, as I'm sure the searchers are, has she got into the water? So there's that. So we'll do a quick run through of the timeline, just day by day. Then I'm going to play the press conference, and then we'll have a look at the map and see where we're actually looking at here. So Sunday, the 27th, Cassie was last seen by Marcus. Marcus is the last person. So this is the estranged partner, father of Sailor. He's the last person to see her. Around 10 p.m, Cassie's dad received text message saying she's having problems with her car and problems with her phone, and that's the last contact that anybody has had with her. Monday, Cassie's dad reported her missing. Tuesday, Cassie's vehicle was found. The thing that alerts and alarms law enforcement is that Cassie's purse with some items inside, but we don't know what those items are, could be her phone, but they didn't say that. And I think they would have said if her phone had been located. Her purse was found inside of her car. As far as law enforcement know, there's been no activity on a bank. Yeah, the exchange time, Dragonfly Lady, was 7 p.m. on Sunday. So the fact that there's been no known movement of a bank, she's just vanished into thin air. On Wednesday, little Sailor, 4-year-old Sailor, was found with her father in Birmingham, Alabama. And then on Thursday, the FBI and the state officials in Florida and Alabama announced that they were also now joining in this search. So it's now kind of not just the local police, the local LA that is dealing with this. This has got FBI involvement, and it's been, you know, it's being considered a crime now. Rather than a missing person, it's being considered a crime because just of the sheer suspiciousness of this. All right, so I'm going to play the press conference. This was played on WFLA, so I'm sharing WFLA part, you know, that small part of WFLA's stream. I'll put a link to it in the chat as well in a sec. Okay. So I'm going to put a link to this stream in the chat. Go and watch it later because it was really good. It was some really kind of detailed coverage. I'll put it in the description box as well after I finish this stream. All right, I'm going to mute out and we're going to listen to this together.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming. We're going to talk about a missing persons case today. A Navarre woman, Cassie Carli, 37 years of age, was last seen Sunday the 27th behind Juana's Pagoda in the parking lot. She was there to meet Marcus Spanavello, who I think also has his photograph as well. They have a child in common, a 3-year-old girl. They were met there to do a child exchange. That was the last time that we know of that Cassie was seen. The next day, Monday the 28th, about midday, we received a call from Cassie's father reporting her missing. The next day, Tuesday the 29th, we find Cassie's car behind Juana's Pagoda. And what we found concerning was inside that car was Cassie's purse. And as you know, most women don't leave their purse behind when they go somewhere. So that caused us a little concern. Then Wednesday the 30th, we located Marcus in Birmingham, Alabama. 3 detectives from Santa Rosa County drove up there to interview him. They made contact with him and also with Sailor, the daughter, and they called out Alabama Child Services, who checked over the girl, and that was that for that part. So they interviewed him and came back here. Right now, we're currently in several different, I guess you could say, phases of this investigation, but we would like to thank Okaloosa, Walton, and Bay SO for their assistance, as well as FDLE and the FBI. Currently, like I said, it's ongoing investigations. I don't know how many questions I can answer, but feel free to ask me what you want to. So, yes, ma'am.
Are there any specific spots?
Before I let this law enforcement official, I didn't catch his name, answer the questions from the press, I just want to acknowledge a couple of super chats. So thank you for this $5, Mary. Did the text sound like Cassie wrote it? No. This is the thing. This is the thing that really alarms the family. That they say they were interviewed by JB from WFLA in the stream that I'm playing from now. And they said that it does not sound like Cassie. It was, in their words, like the style that Marcus uses. Now, obviously, this is just coming from them. They suspect him. He is their chief suspect. Law enforcement have not declared him or anyone else at this stage a suspect. Gracie, it's a Navarre Beach in the panhandle of Florida. Once we've got through this press conference, it's not a long one. I'll show you exactly where it is on the map. And thank you also from Emily for the $10. You are very welcome. Thank you so much for being so generous. Right, we'll let this guy here answer the questions, and then I'll answer your questions. I mean, I don't know any more than was presented in this quite a long stream from WFLA. Like I said right at the beginning, if you just come in, I've been aware of this case for a couple of days now. I've just been kind of, on the back burner. And then when WFLA did a really good stream on it, that's why I've decided to come live and just talk about this. I think it's very concerning. There's a number of red flags to me on this, and the family are, everything from the family's perspective is leaning towards Marcus, which makes sense. But let's listen to the law enforcement guy answering some questions.
That you were searching right now, or any specific efforts that you can share with us?
Not at this time. I can say the search is ongoing, but I can't tell you any certain locations.
Can you confirm whether the search is beyond Santa Rosa County?
Yes. Yes.
Can you give us any information about why some of the people involved in the search went to Freeport yesterday?
I don't know the answer to that one.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't send them there.
No, it was the community-led search.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, ma'am.
We talked to friends and family who all point their fingers toward Marcus when it comes to information that could lead to finding Cassie, and they believe he may know something about her disappearance. Do you feel like that's a fair statement?
Well, I can say it's an ongoing investigation, and he was the last one to see her that we're aware of. So obviously, we are intent on speaking with him again. Yes.
Have any restrictions been put on him about leaving where he's at or the country?
Not by us, no. Yes.
Can you give us any sort of insight into what his story of events were when you interviewed him?
No, I can't.
Is there anything beyond just the purse being with the vehicle that leads you to believe that she didn't just walk off on her own? That
Not,
you can tell us.
yeah, not that I can speak to right now. But like I said, obviously, I've been married 32 years, and I'll tell you, my wife goes nowhere without her purse. So to think that she just left it there and just walked off is, that's what concerns us.
Did you interview the child, or was there anything from the story about the drop off from the child?
No, we did not interview the child. Now, like I said, Alabama Protective Services responded out, and I can't really comment on what they said. Yes.
What was his connection to Birmingham? Was he like in the process of leaving, or does he live there, or what?
No, I think he had a job site up there that he works at.
When you say her purse, is that like all of her, like she left her ID, all that stuff was still in the car, or just a purse?
There were things in the purse we won't comment on, but there's things in the purse that, like I said before, we don't think she would just up and leave.
She was last seen almost 4 days now. Can you speak to whether that's concerning to keep going yet another day with no sign of her?
Oh, yeah, it's very concerning. I mean, and we take everything seriously. Missing persons cases, a lot of them, we find the person, everything's fine. But usually you don't go 4 days without hearing from them or them using a credit card or a cell phone or something. And right as of now, we have none of that. So, yeah, we're concerned.
So you can confirm that she's had no cell phone or credit card activities since Sunday?
That we're aware of.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why we have, we didn't just assign a detective. Our entire major crimes unit is working this. So you've got 10 detectives that's pretty much all they're doing right now is trying to locate Cassie.
At any point, do you plan to identify a person of interest in her disappearance if this continues?
Well, yeah, definitely. If we develop a lead or we develop information that points to a person solid, yeah, we'll have another press conference without a doubt. Yes.
How many witnesses have you guys interviewed approximately?
Ballpark.
There's really not a whole lot of first eyewitnesses.
So I would say 5 or 6 right now, because when you start talking about witnesses, they meet by themselves together in this parking lot to do a child exchange. I mean,
Is it typical to get major crimes in on the first couple days of a missing person case?
it is when certain things pop up, like you find her purse in the car. I mean, that worries us. So, yeah. Yes.
Have you all had any luck with surveillance video or anything in that area? I know it's out on the beach.
Yeah, we have. We've seen a bunch of video. The problem we have with some of it is, it's getting dark and that kind of thing. So we're still examining video. So, yes.
You said that you're concerned and worried. Can you speak to, are you specifically concerned that it's possible kidnapping or any other crime? I mean, her life could be in danger.
Well, when we look at this, we consider her missing, endangered. In other words, we don't know what happened to her. We don't have any evidence specifically pointing to a homicide or abduction or any of those. We just know that the way she has gone missing concerns us greatly.
And you said that, responding to another question, that the search has gone outside of Santa Rosa County. Can you say that it has gone outside of the state? Have you contacted other agencies?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you believe Cassie's alive?
I'm not really going to comment on what I believe. It doesn't really matter what I believe. I mean, evidence is what we go on. And right now, we don't have enough evidence to determine if she's alive or if she's deceased. We don't have that kind of evidence right now.
Did you call the FBI to get involved, or did they volunteer? How did that?
They volunteered.
And where do you go from here?
They'll be examining evidence for us, certain types of evidence that we don't have the capability of looking into. They'll take that. FDLE, same way. They have certain software programs and things we don't have that they do, and hopefully they can help us. Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever, were you ever able to determine if there was any problems with Cassie's car that you guys have?
We're not going to comment on that, but yeah, we do have the car in custody. So yes. Anything else? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, and before we go, Crime Stoppers. Thank you, Rich. 850-437-STOP. If anybody out there has any information about Cassie and her whereabouts, and you may not think it's a big deal to you, but if you give us some information to these detectives, it may be the thing that breaks the case. So if you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. You're totally anonymous and you can get a reward. So thank you very much.
There from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, guys. So I just wanted to acknowledge some super chats before we go any further. So thank you, Talk to Animals. Goodies for the pups. These pups are going to be getting mighty fat with all the treats that they get from you guys. Honestly, I'm going to have to start putting them on a diet or something. But thank you so much. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you so much. Your sister from your American family. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. And Kathy, just to thank you for what you do, daily follower. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Just check that we've not got any more. No, so before I get off WFLA, I noticed a few people asking for a picture of Cassie. That's Cassie. And Marcus, they had a picture of Marcus in this stream. So just a sec. Let's see if we can find him. So that's Cassie and little Sailor. Sailor is safe. Sailor is 4 and she is safe. Let's see. There's another. Let's just have a look. Oops. No. It's difficult to stop on exactly the right place. Let me see if we can find. Nope. That's Cassie. There we go. That's Marcus. Marcus Spanavello. I think he's Brazilian. And some of the early reports were concerning themselves with the possibility that Marcus might have kidnapped Sailor and be on his way to Brazil with her. That was, I think, one of the early videos from members of her family. That was their main concern. However, Sailor is safe. She's not headed to Brazil or anywhere else out of the US. She's been located. I'd love to know that she's, when they say safe, I want to know that she's in the custody of Child Protective Services at this stage. Not that I want to separate Marcus from his child. If he is innocent, then he, of course, he should have custody of his child. But Cassie's family are starting some kind of legal proceedings to get custody, or at least try to get custody of little Sailor. So I think that's going to be something that's ongoing if Cassie isn't located and if Marcus isn't charged with anything. And of course, Marcus is not even a suspect. He's not even been declared a person of interest at this stage, as you heard on that press conference. That press conference was yesterday, and there hasn't been a press conference today. We don't, not as far as I know. It was unclear. It was very unclear. In the WFLA stream, it was unclear as to whether Marcus has got her or whether she's actually in custody of the Alabama Child Services. Thank you so much for the $1.99. Sasa from Kath. from my Chihuahua home. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's a good question. There is, all of this is from the family, right? So we've got to caveat everything we say at the moment, that all the information we've got is from Cassie's family. So Cassie's family believe that Marcus wrote the text messages that were sent from Cassie's phone to her dad on the evening of the 27th, the last time Cassie was seen alive, or seen by anybody. They're engaging at the moment in a custody battle for little Sailor. At the moment, they share custody of her. So he spends, I think it's every other weekend with Sailor. And then he returns her back to Cassie. I find it very, very interesting. I don't know what you guys think, but I find it very interesting that she meets Marcus for the handover in a public place. Now, the parking lot of the grill at Navarre Beach that they chose for this handover isn't their usual spot. They usually meet kind of halfway between Marcus's place and her place, or her dad's place where she's living. Let me get the map up and I'll show you where we're talking here. That'll be easier, I think. Okay, so this is Navarre Beach. Let me just check you guys can see that. Yeah. This is Navarre Beach. And it's in the panhandle of Florida. So just to get your bearings. There you go. Cassie lives with her dad in Navarre. And then I believe that Marcus lives in Panama City. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. Where's Panama City here? Where's Panama? Panama City. I don't know, but that's where he lives anyway. And but he works in a variety of locations. And one of his work sites is in Birmingham, Alabama, which is about 4 hours north. So up here, there. So that's where Sailor was located. She was located in Birmingham, Alabama with Marcus. So instead of Cassie taking her child and going home, the child ends up 4 hours away in Birmingham, Alabama with her dad, who's engaging in a difficult custody battle with somebody that Cassie's family believed treated Cassie horribly. They've been split up for a long time, since little Sailor was a baby. And he's been not a nice person to Cassie, but it's court-ordered that she's got to give him custody, or visitation, or whatever it would be termed, every other weekend. So there's certainly no love lost between Cassie's family and Marcus. So make of that what you will. It could be that he's completely innocent. It could be that Cassie turned up and said, you take her for a bit longer. I've got to sort my head out. And she's gone off somewhere and just left everything. It happens. It does happen where people just, I don't know, decide one day that they're going to take some time for themselves and disappear. I think Cassie's family would say that's not like her at all. She's fought tooth and nail to keep custody of little Sailor. She had infertility problems in a previous relationship. She didn't think she could have a child. So when little Sailor came along, you know, she was absolutely over the moon that she'd got the little baby that she'd always dreamed of having. So there is that. And then something untoward could have happened after that. So Marcus could be innocent. We've got to, you know, at the moment, it's very early stages of the investigation. We've got to take, you know, law enforcement's word, I guess, in that it's an open, active, new, developing investigation, and there's nobody that's been declared a suspect at the moment. Thank you, Cecile. I wonder if Sailor even made it to Florida. Thanks again for all you do. Yeah. You know, there's so many unanswered questions at the moment, you know, but because those text messages were sent from Cassie's phone around 10 p.m. on Sunday evening, saying that she was having problems with her car, and then her car was located at the boat ramp at Navarre Beach 2 days later, or a day and a half later, Tuesday morning. Now, law enforcement have got possession of the car. As you heard at the press conference, they weren't forthcoming, and, you know, they're obviously not going to release any details at this stage. You know, was the car in disrepair? Did the car have a problem? Did the car run completely fine? If it ran completely fine, then that text message is a lie. And yeah. That vegan teacher, thank you for joining. Thank you for caring beyond yourself and trying to make this world a better place. You're very welcome, and yourself as well. You do great work. What causes someone to become a narcissist? Upbringing or born that way? I would say it's an interaction. I think it's a complex interaction between basic personality traits that you're born with and then other personality traits that interact with it. And there's some environmental factors in there as well. But how many hours have you got? Because that's a really complex question, We don't know. That's what I was just saying. We don't know. Law enforcement aren't going to tell us that at this stage. I would imagine that law enforcement aren't going to tell us anything at this stage, you know, other than the basics. You know, the vehicle's been located, the child's been located, the child is safe, and everything else. We get this with every investigation, however long it's run, you know, that the most information we get comes from family members, people speaking out, rather than law enforcement, where in any investigation, it doesn't matter how long that investigation's gone on for, whether it's gone on for a few days or it's gone on for a few months. Law enforcement say very little because they don't want to jeopardize the integrity of any investigation, because they don't know what angle that investigation's going to take until it's all over. And then, you know, he does work. Yes, he does work. One of his work sites, I believe he travels for his work. I don't know what he does for work, but one of his work sites is in Birmingham, Alabama, 4 hours away from Navarre Beach. So here. And that's where he's been located and where the little baby has been located, 4-year-old sailor. So he's travelled 4 hours up to Birmingham, and that's where he was found. I don't know what circumstances. I don't know how he was found. Presumably, law enforcement tracked down his work sites, and he was there. I don't know. I don't know how that part of the investigation revealed itself. They say that they've got various pieces of video. I'm guessing that once they've gone through kind of surveillance videos, presumably there'll be surveillance video in the parking lot. There'll be probably surveillance video along the roads that they travel. This is not like a really rural location. You know, she was meeting him in public places, which says a lot to me. You know, he wasn't meeting her at her place or her going to his place. They were meeting in public places. So presumably she would be choosing places where there's people around, which is a red flag to me. It really is. Thank you so much, Gracie, for the 1999. Live in Florida, but you really are good. You always beat all of us. It's just a passion I enjoy. It's horrible to say when, you know, someone's missing, probably under suspicious circumstances, possibly deceased, that you enjoy it. But I've always enjoyed true crime, so I spend a lot of my time looking at these cases. Sounds like someone was pulling a Brian laundry. Deflective text to the family. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully the law enforcement involved in this case are going to be on the ball and not going to give him any wriggle room, you know, and they're going to have eyes on him the whole time, even though he's not a person of interest at the moment. You know, they need to have eyes on him the whole time. None of this, you know, he's free to come and go. You know, and then they'll let him slip away and then confuse him with his mother, and then justice is never served. You know, they need surveillance on him at all times until it can be proven that he's done nothing wrong. Because there might be surveillance video that shows him somewhere completely else. They might find her phone. He might be able to supply messages that prove he wasn't there and that she told him not to come. And phone pings actually secure him, or something else secures him, you know, with a solid alibi. But until then, yes, I did. It's in the stream that I just played. I played the press conference. So I put the link to that stream in the chat. I'll do it again for anybody who wants to just catch it and watch it later. But yeah, they had some interviews with the family. Yeah. It was very, very interesting. So I'd strongly recommend it. Strongly recommend it. Oops, I nearly put you in a timeout then, instead of putting your comment on the screen. Thank you, Net Detective. The does not look good. He owed 6,000 in child support. Yeah, he owed child support. Yeah. So you've got to wonder whether they'd had a heated argument. You know, if they'd had an heated argument in a parking lot on a Sunday evening, I'm guessing they're going to be witnesses. Somebody would have heard something. I don't know. Yeah, there was mention of a GoFundMe. Cassie set up a GoFundMe for I think it was court expenses. I can't remember now. But yeah, she'd suffered from a narcissistic controlling behavior from him. So we've got to have that question mark. Was the DV involved? Possibly. Even though they'd been split up for a long time. So thank you, TN girl. 9.99. Sincerely appreciate how non-judgmental you are, how you always treat everyone fairly. Thank you so much for being generous. I do try to treat everyone fairly. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. If you want my honest opinion, I think this guy is dodgy. I think this guy has got a lot of questions to answer. I've got red flags flying left, right, and center about this Marcus guy. However, he's innocent until he's proven guilty in a court of law, or he's completely cleared by law enforcement. He could be cleared. He could be cleared tomorrow by law enforcement, and we're actually looking at something other than a serious crime. We could be looking at someone who's ran away. I doubt it. I very much doubt it. But we've got to keep an open mind at this early stage. But, you know, the fact that the FBI is involved, you know, this is not a missing child. This is a missing woman. You know, the FBI doesn't get involved in all missing persons cases. They tend to get involved in missing child cases, but not missing persons cases. You know, when it's an adult. But there's red flags here. You know, her vehicle's been left behind. Her purse has been left behind. Question mark on where her phone is. Her child's been left behind. Her child's with the person who was meant to give that child back on the very day she disappeared. You know, it doesn't look good for Marcus. It doesn't look good for Marcus, but he's got a lot of questions to answer. And I really hope that they have eyes on him. I really hope they do. Because, you know, is he going to try and leave the country? If he is guilty of something, is he going to try and flee, is the question. So, hi, Scott H. Yeah, lots of history between them. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of red flags. Lots of red flags. So many of them. Yeah, no, I hate the term narcissist when it's just used, you know, oh, you're so narcissistic, you know, for somebody who feels proud in something that they've done, you know, and oh, you're such a narcissist, stop talking about yourself. I really don't like that, because true narcissism is very dangerous. And when somebody is a narcissist and they have been spurned, you know, they're no longer in control. They are dangerous. They really are. They really are. Don't know. That's a very good question, Anna. I don't know. On either of them, on Cassie or Marcus, I don't know. I guess we'll find those details out soon. I think this is going to be a story that I'm going to be following very closely. I've been monitoring it, as I said at the beginning of this stream. I became aware of it, I think it would have been Wednesday. And I thought, I'm going to keep an eye on this one. And I'm really pleased that WFLA have picked up on it. Really pleased. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Thanks for reminding me of that one, Ashley. He had a big trailer on the back of his truck. So he had a truck with a 30-foot trailer on the back of it that used to kind of just pull around with him. So I don't know whether he was living in this trailer or whether what was he doing with this trailer, like driving around with a trailer. I'd be interested to know whether the trailer was taken to Birmingham, Alabama. Where was he found in the trailer? Was he and the child living in the trailer? We don't know. But a 30-foot trailer, it's the perfect vehicle, you know, to move someone, alive or not. So, could be a work trailer. Yeah, we don't know what what type of trailer. It could be a work trailer. It doesn't necessarily have to be a trailer that you're living in. Yeah, could be. I don't know what he does for a work. So, yes, I can show you a picture of the guy. Just a sec. There you go. That's him. That's the guy. It's not a very good photo, but you know, there he is. That's who we're dealing with. Marcus. Thank you. Oops, I'm on the wrong window here. Thank you for the $20 super sticker. Thanks for being me. And it looks like a dancing avocado, I think. I love avocados. Do you know what? I've not had an avocado for ages. I'm going to have to go to the shop tomorrow and buy myself some avocados. I can't remember the last time I had an avocado. That's bad news, that. I have to buy some. Dancing avocado. Well, thank you. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. No, I've gone. It's gone. But Marcus Spenavilo. Apparently he's Brazilian. So there was concerns from the family that he was going to take the child and leave the country and go to Brazil. But that hasn't happened. For those of you that have come in late, the 4-year-old child is safe. Her name is Sailor. She's safe. Allegedly, according to law enforcement. Yeah. I really hope they do. I really hope they do have eyes on him and they keep eyes on him. You know, just one interview with him. I don't want to ever tell law enforcement how to do their job. But, you know, Brian Laundrie, you know, saying, we've got eyes on him. We know exactly where he is. And then they confused him with his mother, you know. So forgive me for being a little bit cynical. I hope that their eyes on him has gone a little bit further than interviewing him saying, oh, I don't know, or giving them some cock and bull story. You know, hopefully he's being surveilled. And I really hope, like I said before, I don't ever want to separate a parent and child, ever. But in these kind of circumstances, I really would prefer it if he would voluntarily allow Cassie's family to look after little Sailor whilst all this is going on, you know. She doesn't need to be in protective custody unless he's made threats on Sailor, or it's threatened that, you know, he's gonna abscond with Sailor, and then perhaps in protective custody of an unknown location is the safest place for her. But yeah. No, I'm not keen on guacamole. I like a big fat avocado. I do. Don't like it all squashed up. Is that what he does? Does he work in IT? I'm not sure what he does for work, but if he works in IT, then no, maybe not. That's my concern. That's my concern, that he's a flight risk. Yeah. There you go, you see, Michael. We're in the same boat. We've not had an avocado. That's what we're missing. We're all missing a bit more avocado in our lives. That's what we need. Yes, I do. Michael's a mod. So, yes, I do. Thank you, Linda, for the $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. What state do they live in? Florida. So, Cassie lives in Navarre, Florida. And he, I believe, was living in Florida, but works in a variety of locations. And he was located in Birmingham, Alabama. And there's a work site there that he's involved with. So he basically gone to work or gone to the city in which his work was located. So, yeah. Yeah, that's it. It was at a job site. I'm assuming he's still there now, but you know, he's free. He's free to go. He's free to go. Oh, dear me. Van life. Yeah, maybe. I'm sure it's delicious. It's not that I don't like it. I like guacamole, but I prefer, you know, whole avocados. I prefer them, you know, on a spoon. I know, it's horrible. You know, it's just horrible. It really is. It's not that late. It's only 10:15. And I had a nap this afternoon, so I know there's lots of miles and things, but still, they are delicious. It does indeed, Jenny. It does cross state lines. So the FBI is involved, the state police from Florida and Alabama are both involved, plus obviously the local law enforcement teams in both locations, and Child Protective Services in Birmingham, Alabama is also involved. So there's a big team here. A big team here. So hopefully they don't mess it up, because there was a big team involved in the Brown Laundry fiasco, and look what happened there. I think it's partly why the FBI is involved, because it's across state lines. There's a small child involved. This is very suspicious. Someone said he's got a criminal. What, the dad, Cassie's dad? I don't know. I haven't looked that far into it yet. Not yet. No, it's not. It's 10:15 here in the UK. So not late. Not late at all. But I am gonna call it a day here, because I didn't intend this to be a long stream. Anyone checking social media? Well, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day here. So thank you so much for tuning in at a very short notice, and thank you so much for the super chats, the super stickers. Thanks for keeping the chat really nice and kind. Thank you, Michael, for modding, and I'll see you very soon. I'll see you tomorrow, no doubt, somewhere, someplace. Bye, guys.